Ha guys, let's get more news about Warriors, but first don't forget to subscribe and leave your like on the Warriors' usage of double gaps to punish the Thunder's double teams on Steph Curry. Besides the decision to start to Anthony Melton at the 2 guard next to Stephen Curry, there are 2 notable standouts in the box score of the Golden State Warriors' 127-116 win over the Oklahoma City Thunder. Tracy Jackson Davis, who started the game at the 5, saw only 4 minutes and 43 seconds of action. Kevin Looney, his veteran backup, didn't see the floor at all. A key aspect of this deep Warriors roster has been adaptability, and Steve Kerr deemed it wise to adapt to what the situation against the Thunder called for. That situation may have been born out of one particular sequence in the first quarter. Jackson Davis had been taken out after a so-so start in which the Warriors were outscored by 6 points in his 4 minutes and 43 seconds of playing time. Kerr opted for the small option by slotting Draymond Green into the 5. Against what was at the time a relatively big Thunder lineup consisting of 7-1 and Sharon at the 5. Kerr therefore was banking on a speedy lineup capable of getting stops, running the floor and scoring against a non-sit Thunder defense. However, it was on this possession below against a set Thunder defense that may have had a significant impact on both teams' choice to go mano a mano with their small lineups. Anytime an offense can create double gaps in the half court, it makes opponents' lives much more difficult. Double gaps are simply defined as a situation in which 2 offensive players are 2 passes away from each other, usually separated by an empty spot on the floor, such an empty slot, empty wing, or empty corner. In the Warriors' case, above the double gap is present in the form of an open wing between Gary Payton 2 on the slot and Andrew Wiggins in the corner. This isolates Shai Gilgeous-Alexander as the lone man, virtually defending 2 offensive players on the weak side. When Melton finds Payton, Jalen Williams rotates toward Payton, who then swings the ball to Wiggins in the corner. Gilgeous-Alexander closes out and is baited up in the air with the fake. Wiggins decides to attack the close out and challenge in second among qualified players in terms of opponent field goal percentage at the rim, 41.5%, with Victor Wanyama 35.7%, the only one besting him. Wiggins goes hard at Trent, does the right thing by getting a body on the rim protector and manages to get the ball in the hoop and causing H to fall hard to the floor in the process, which would take him out of the game. With no Isaiah Hartenstein, the Thunder center depth was decimated, forcing them to fight small with small, which wasn't a bad idea at all given the balance of offensive firepower coupled with defensive versatility they could throw out with their core of guards and wings that have a height range of 6'3" into 6'6" in. They could space the floor and continuously pound opponents with their drive and K game, fueled by the shot creation punch provided by Gilgeous-Alexander and Williams, all while being able to keep opponents' half-court offense flat and contained with help from the likes of Luke Dart and Alex Caruso, with the ability to switch near endlessly. Warriors primed for what should be go time after winning road trip for days after posting a statement against the defending champion Celtics in Boston. The Warriors completed a feat even more significant, a statement road trip which happens to be sprinkled with fortuitous timing. Their 127-116 win over the Thunder on Sunday in Oklahoma City concluded a fabulous 10 days that signaled to the NBA that the Warriors are cold-eyed serious about flying high. They don't care to merely challenge the league's elite, they're aiming to join it. They left the Bay Area on November 1st for their most imposing early season trip, facing the solid Houston Rockets and the lowly Washington Wizards, before staring 3 legitimate title contenders in the defending champion Celtics, the unbeaten Cleveland Cavaliers, and their 8-1 Thunder, winning 3 of 5 would have been a good trip. Winning all 5 would have been enough for the Warriors to float home without boarding a jet. Their 4-1 mark, even with an ugly loss to the Cavaliers, is validation. Hell of a trip, Coach Steve Kerr told reporters at Palm Center. Great way to start the season out, winning 8 of our first 10, including a couple road wins against 2 of the best teams in the league. I feel like our team is in a good place, but this is just the beginning of a long season. We've got to keep working. The Warriors realize they are nowhere near perfect with one blemish being a befuddling tendency to trick off big leads. It resurfaced again when a 30-point lead in the final seconds of the third quarter dwindled to 6 with 446 remaining. Stephen Curry assured victory and rocked the Thunder to sleep by blasting them with 8 of his game-high 36 points inside the final 323, including a dagger 3 ball that put the lead at 10 with 113 remaining. Those two nights are good for us to look at what we doing wrong to give up leads. K said. On the other hand, it's the modern NBA. No lead is safe. It just feels like this is the modern NBA, but we did have turnovers in both games that allowed both Houston and OKC to get back in the game, and that's probably where we can clean some things up. The Warriors did enough to move into a virtual tie with OKC and the Phoenix Suns, all with 8-2 records for first place in the Western Conference. The Warriors were in second place when they left town 10 days ago, but they hadn't been tested. Now tested, they come home with a record not topped by any team in the conference. A glance around the West suggests this is as good a time as any for Golden State to stake their claim and keep climbing, as injuries are ravaging much of the conference. In beating OKC, the Warriors took full advantage of the Thunder losing center Chad Holmgren to a hip injury in the first quarter. He was assisted off the floor, and Oklahoma announced after the game that Trent sustained a right iliac wing fracture and will be re-evaluated in 8 to 10 weeks. Warriors could target $100 million center in trade. The Golden State Warriors, despite a recent 136-117 loss to the Cleveland Cavaliers on Friday, are one of the hottest and best teams in the NBA. Steve Kerr has implemented a 12-man rotation utilizing the Warriors' depth, but there are concerns that such a strategy might not be sustainable, with the Warrior looking to go on a playoff run with Stephen Curry. Recent reports suggest that they will make a splash in free agency, adding a high-level player while sacrificing some of their depth. The Brooklyn Nets, amid a rebuild, have been linked to Warriors forward Jonathan Kuminga, who is perhaps Golden State's best trade chip. He is in the last season of his rookie deal and will be a restricted free agent in the summer, although the Warriors seem to be interested in reining him if possible. Still, he was recently moved to the bench and might want to land a bigger role on a different team, and the Nets could make him a focal point of their young core, which will likely be bolstered in the 2025 NBA draft. Should the Nets make an offer for Kuminga, the Warriors could demand that they get Nick Claxton, who recently signed a 4-year $100 million extension. Claxton, 25, is an excellent rim protector and a solid rebounder who could add some much-needed size in Golden State. The Warriors have held their own this season, but they do not have a player taller than 6'9", so adding a rebounding presence down low will help, especially when they face off against larger teams. While Kuminga will have to come with added salary in any deal, the Nets could take on a draft pick and Andrew Wiggins to match money, sending their center to Golden State, where he would be poised to thrive. And you, fan, what do you think of the situation of Jonathan Sigurd? Leave your opinion in the comments.